Yeah, just want to thank y'all guys for allowing us on the show. Like you already mentioned them, and I'll get them to raise their hands so you can see exactly who is in the crew. I got Churchland varsity head coach, my brother, Gary Dennett, class of 95. I have Dee Dee Scruggs Reeves, class of 87. And then I have Tracy Booth Avery, class of 94. And then, of course, you got myself, class of 90. Thanks for inviting us, guys.
All right.
Glad to have you, man. Glad to have you in the building. We are really we're excited about what's going on. And what was the main reason, Sean, that you guys decided to get together and form this committee?
Well, it was a few things, but one of the main things was the class of 90. We had our 31st reunion because we didn't do it for the 30th because of COVID. And it was only about 20 members that were present. And I think for the 20th reunion, they told me it was over 100. And I just started noticing, talking with other students, that they were having low numbers at their 20th reunions. So, I thought about it and said, hey, we didn't just hang with our class when we were in school. So if the numbers are going to start going down, why don't we just all get together, all of us who have graduated, past 20 years. And that way, if we just get 10 people from each class, we still have a very large class. So that was one of the main things, to just keep the camaraderie going even after the individual classes were no longer in being a part of it.
That's cool, because that actually will help offset costs too.
Yeah.
Some of the things you'll be able to do by including more people. What is the requirement to be a part of the grand reunion?
What a part is, we have just one inclusion. I think Churchland High School started in 1953, 54. So you can be from any class, from the very first class to Churchland High School, all the way up to the class of 2001. The only requirement we have is that you have to have had at least your 20th class reunion before we allow you into the group. That's the only requirement.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that seems pretty fair, because that gives everybody an opportunity to have their 10-year and their 20-year, because that's when you get the largest response. But coming into the larger years, like this is actually my 30th year being out of high school.
Yeah,
I'm class of 92. Me, Raymond, Derek, Wayne, class of 92. So this is our 30th, and I haven't heard anything yet. What type of response have you got from the Facebook page? I know I enjoy, when I pop on Facebook every now and then to see some of the pictures from back in the day. And let me just say this. This is crazy. This is crazy to me. For some reason, when I see the pictures of us, they don't look as old as those pictures did from what I would say the predecessors. When I was, like when we were in high school and you would see the pictures of people 20 and 30 years ago, those pictures look old. But ours, I mean, is it just me? Or do y'all think the same thing?
No, I think for one, the hairstyles have changed. Back then, especially like the 70s, they was wearing the same froze that the daddies was wearing, the pork chops and everything. But then also the cameras got better, so you started getting more pictures in color. And we just automatically equate bell bottoms and the ruffles and stuff, as old school. So it do make it, because I see people older than me that they look younger now than they did when I was a little boy that was growing up. So yeah, I think it's a lot on the grooming style. but also it seemed like when I look at the pictures, I don't look as big as I visualize myself either. I'm like, man, I'm saying maybe I won't as big, but no, he was that big, bro.
Like
You know, one thing
I had hair, so you know, I can't escape that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I used to cut mine's bald just because, you know, I still had options back then.
Yeah, you started too early, bro. You should have hung on to that long as you can. I'm hanging on by a thread.
Let it go.
Look, I still got lines. Look, hold on. There's still a line there.
That's all right. You gonna about 2 more years, you gonna turn into Stephen A. Try to ride it.
No, I ain't gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. No, class of '92 is a little special, and I'm not saying it just because that's the class that I graduated in, but we were the first class to graduate from the new school, and also the last class to attend the old school. So our first semester was in the old building, was in the oven. And our second semester was in the Taj Mahal. You know,
that was my freshman year. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so we were excited to be able to experience it. We thought we weren't going to get an opportunity to right.
Yeah.
We weren't going to get no AC at all.
The school was better, but the mosquitoes weren't.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, hey,
It's bad.
Hey. So let's talk a little bit to Dee Dee from class 1987. What was the culture like in 1987 at Churchland High School in the brick oven?
Well, you know, back in 1987, we had graduated from them powder blue suits. But no, I transplanted in from Western Branch. And we just always were, it was that rivalry between Churchland and Western Branch, always. But just like your siblings, you have that rivalry, but don't let anybody pick on, you know, I wouldn't let anybody pick on Churchland. That was Western Branch's job to pick on Churchland. Right. But when we moved in Churchland School District, I just knew I was going to hate it. And my first day, I realized that the people were genuine. The people loved you from the minute you walked in the door. And that was the staff as well as the students. Everybody was there to help everybody else. And we had to, because we would have passed out in that brick oven if we wouldn't have been helping each other. But it was just the love and camaraderie of the Truckers Nation was unrivaled. I tell you, I fell in love with Churchland day one, walking in that school, and didn't look back and didn't miss Western Branch at all. Just like I said, the teachers, the students, everybody made me feel welcome and made me fall in love with Churchland High School. And I tell you what, I'm not ashamed to say I came from Western Branch, but I'm a whole lot more proud to say I graduated from Churchland High School.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, that's right.
Dee Dee, that's what I'm talking about. So Miss Tracy, tell us a little bit about your experience. I know that you have had the opportunity to be in a security situation for Portsmouth Public Schools, and also to participate in more of the current events of things that are going on at the land.
The land, yes. That's one of the things I love as I come back in there, the land. I like that they did that. And I don't know if y'all been in the school. I mean, this was my first time coming back in there in years, and in the gym where they have the truck coming through, the mirror of the truck coming through the wall, and that was donated from the class of 1994, which was my class. So I didn't even know, that had happened. But it's just that the evolving, how it changed. I started off at the old Churchland with with no AC and all that. I graduated in 94 from the new Churchland. So when we pulled up, it was like Chesapeake Square Mall. We were like, it looked like a mall.
Yeah.
But to see how it had evolved into, you know, what it is now, the spirit is just, that's what I'm so, it's just, I never thought Churchland would do that. But, you know, and when you walk up, that's what they like the land. I'm like, oh my God, like, then I was like, I was like, this is cool. This is, you know, so being from there, when we, you know, that's all we said, we was truckers. Now they say the land, you know, we are church and truckers, but it's the land. So that's why I really like. And I was talking to somebody not too long ago, because you know, Norcom people, they know the whole history of Norcom. They can give you the rundown. And so they was like, you graduated from church, because you know, I'm at the sheriff's office is more Norcom and Wilson than it is Churchland. So they was like, you don't even know what the history of Churchland Trucker. I'm like, yes, I do. I know why the name Churchland came about, and I know where the name Trucker came up. Why the name Trucker came about? Like, you know, why I see Norcom, what it is, you know, why it's I see Norcom. So I did, and it was, you know, they didn't think that we would know that, because they feel we don't learn our history of our school. Only I see Norcom learn the history of their school. So, you know, and when I'm there, I tell them, I was like, you know, I just like it. I just love the, you know, how it has evolved into what it is, the football team. I'll be doing baseball security out there, so I see you. But, you know, so I haven't went out there yet, because the mosquitoes is gonna come now. I don't mind doing football. But while we up here, do we know why it's called Church in the Truck?
From what I remember from the history, there used to be like a truck stop where the school was, and I know that's the part I know about why it's called the Truckers. But I thought it was Churchland because of all of the churches. Is that right?
Yep, that's what. Yep, it was called Churchland because all the churches was over there. So there was Churchland, and the truck used to bring produce and stuff from Suffolk and from that end, and they had to go through Churchland to bring it to this end, and that was the pass through for the truck. So they got Churchland Truckers. So
I mean, that's what I remembered. But you know, you got to jog your memory a little bit sometimes, because it's not something we talk about a lot. But yeah,
but you know, people that went to school in well, you know, they always say Portsmouth and then Churchland. They don't act like Churchland is not Portsmouth.
Right.
So
exactly.
they don't know. They feel we don't know. They feel, you know, no offense, we African Americans that went to a predominantly white school, but we did not know the history of that school. It was like we were just bust there, and so we went. But I did, like, I had the teacher, Miss Thompson, her husband taught there. She made us learn the history of Churchland. Like, that was one of your assignments. She gave us a lot of questions. You had to figure out the history of Churchland. You was not gonna go to the school and not know the history.
Right.
So, and she was a white teacher, and she taught us that.
So let's see, with Gary. How long you been coaching at Churchland?
So the first time around, I was assistant baseball coach and head JV football coach 2010 to around 2013, and then I was a JV coach, JV baseball coach 2017 till last season when I got the varsity head job. Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations, man. And I'm gonna tell you something that makes me proud and impressed. I am proud to see some of the people that I know that went to school with, grew up with, back at our school.
I tell you, B, it's funny you mentioned that, because the basketball coach, Mike Holland, graduated in 1995. The soccer coach, 1995 graduate, Tommy Carter. I think 95 was about the best year of Churchland athletics, but I mean, no, I digress. But you know, so those individuals, and then like the head JV football coach, Aaron Hawkins, a grad of Churchland. So quite a few of the coaches and stuff are graduates. So yeah, man, it's good as you mentioned that, because I tell you, the new principal, Sean Malachi, just a real good for the school type guy, right? So you know, he big pro sports, pro extracurricular activity type stuff. And he's brought, you know, earlier you mentioned the land and stuff, Tracy and stuff, and him and the new AD have just been a fresher breath of air throughout the building right there, especially you know, on the sports side and stuff like that, and just Churchland pride all together. They're decorating the halls and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just been a real blessing.
That's good. I mean, it sounds like the land has become everything that we were hoping for to happen when we were there.
Right.
But it was like we were early, you know?
Right.
We were early. You know, I remember you know, being there, and I was in the Mr. and Mrs. Churchland pageant.
Somehow I was too. Go figure that. My daughter, I was in it. I was in Practical Jokers before Impractical Jokers was around. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in the during that period, it's just it's great to see. You know, this is energizing me. I need to get back and like Tracy was telling us earlier. I mean, now Gary, we got an extra perspective from you, and man, this is great. This is great. I need to go back and see more and try to just find a way to deal with these mosquitoes. You know, I think that's gonna be the issue. Try to find a way to mosquitoes.
They spray out there now, though.
They're a little impervious. They're a little impervious to that spray.
I try to convince myself that
Skin so soft.
They bathe in that.
I think football season ain't that bad. I mean, when it coming to homecoming, because it's, you know, it won't that bad. Football season.
So I can tell you, well, yeah, you're right, Trey. But August and September, we was at the practical side all the days on time.
See, when I say around homecoming, it don't be that bad. And then it be so many people out there. I think they just, you know, they not used to that type of crowd. They're not used to that type of crowd. So I think.
Well, I'm in.
Was you at homecoming, Gary?
Yeah, yeah. So I normally, so with football and basketball, I normally work the games anyway. So,
I told them homecoming was real good. It was like a college homecoming where they had all the vendor trucks out there, and you know, something different that I never seen Churchland do. It was really different.
So for the last, like I said, and that goes back to the AD and the president. So they try to bring back, you know, like big, you know, Western Brand. They still do the little parade stuff and stuff like that. Churchland, so they do the same thing. They do it a little earlier in the day, but like Tracy, you saw that they had the food trucks out there and everything. So you know, they trying to bring that pride back and stuff like that. So yeah, homecoming. Last couple of years, obviously the COVID year kind of messed it up, but the year before and then obviously last year, the food trucks and whatnot, they put on a pretty good show now.
Yeah, and the band is way better.
How big?
They don't play Mario Brothers. I can tell you that.
Yeah. How big is the band now?
Not sure how big the band is, but I just know the band is better.
Yeah, it's way better. It's like I'd say about 40 or 50 students probably.
Okay, I mean that's, you know, for nowadays, man. You know, that's a large band. You know, for nowadays.
Because Norcom and Wilson band ain't as big as it used to be no more either.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely has gone down. I think instrumentation is still a very important thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still very
And
important.
I know at Mount they were saying a lot of people are not joining the band like they used to.
Hmm.
You know, this generation don't do that. They ain't getting into that.
Yeah, a lot of these high
Mm.
schools are actually taking junior high school students, because I think my godson, he started playing in an Arkham band when he was like in 7th grade.
Okay.
Wow. They're down in numbers so much they're even going down to
Mm-hmm.
lower grades to
Mm-hmm.
have people to perform on Friday nights.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's good though.
Yeah.
Because those kids that are serious about learning, they're gonna learn at a much faster pace being at that level. You know, it's a lot going on, and that gives them 5 years. And if they want to go to college and play, I think it make them more competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Sean, is there anything that we missed in regards to the grand reunion? I know we haven't went through the dates yet.
Oh yeah, you had asked me about before my computer started acting up. You had asked me about how things were going.
Mhm.
Oh, right,
I
with
don't.
the response on the page, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I didn't know if anybody addressed that or not.
We say that for you.
Okay. Well, the reaction on the page is great. You know, like I said, we get hundreds and hundreds of responses every week because every week we do a different yearbook. But as far as when it comes times for the nitty gritty, as far as fundraisers or asking questions about what people would like to have to do and doing polls, that's kind of lackluster. So that's right now. It got us up in the grab as to are people just coming out so they can see the pictures every week. So these coming events we have coming up would kind of give us some kind of feedback as to who really wants to be
Mm-hmm.
part of a grand reunion. Because like I said, we're gonna on May 28th from 3:30 to 8. We have the triple shelter that holds 200 people, has 20 benches. We're gonna do a cookout that day, have some music, and that one will be a charge. The first one is free; you just have to pay for your drinks. But that one will be a charge, so it'll kind of give us an idea of what we're leading into. If it doesn't seem like we're getting momentum, we may do something else, during the summer to get together, or we may just try to focus on gathering the rest of the money so we can be assured that we'll be able to have a very decent grand reunion in October.
You know, I'm actually pretty excited, man, about the things that are going on. And like I said earlier, I mean, I love that we've got people that actually attended the school that are back, um, you know, fueling and being a part of the new culture um, of the land, which I love that. I love the land. Um, that's great. That's great. Um, so, Sean, I know we talked a little bit about some of the why the grand reunion we go to the people that have been 21 years out of school.
Yeah.
Um, and I get that, and I actually appreciate that. What type of response have you been getting from some of the older classes, like the old timers?
It's actually starting to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we first started, um, the response stopped at 87. So that's like I say, our committee, and I give Dion Everett the credit of that because she mentioned it when we had the uh, 1990 cookout back in October. And we was talking about the committee. She said, "Why don't we get someone from every class to represent the committee?" So our committee has at least one member, mostly two, from every year from 1987 to 2000. We just added the class of 2001 here in January, so we don't have a member for them. We're probably going to wait till after the grand reunion to finally add somebody from the 2001 class. But as the page started coming up, I'm starting to see 85. I've seen someone from 74, someone from 79. And I made a post that I wasn't going to do a class year this week. I'm actually going to group off classes together and ask everyone to post one of their recent pictures in their class years. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do that is because I wanted to see what were the other classes below 85, because we did 85 yearbook. We went from 85 and we're going all the way to 2001. I just want to see those earlier classes so that I can try to reach out and see if I'm able to get their yearbooks, because if they're willing to be up here into the group, I want to at least try to honor them as well as we did the other classes. So yes, 74 is the lowest one I've seen, but we got a few 70s and a few early 80s that has joined.
Awesome,
also.
man. Awesome. Give a shout out to some of the people that have provided some yearbooks.
Oh yeah, I like to think my little sister Chanel, she gave me my first 4. Then also Miss Duche, Tracy Duche, she's a former teacher at Churchland. She just actually stopped teaching last semester.
Did she retire?
I think she did part-time last semester, but she didn't go back this semester. So I think she kind of kicks around with it from time to time. I don't think she's fully retired, but I think she work a little bit and then stop. My biggest supporter, may he rest in peace, is Mr. Earl Mabry's. His daughter Cherie is a real close friend of mine, and she allowed me to utilize all of his yearbooks, and the bulk of the yearbooks that I have are actually Mr. Mabry's yearbooks, courtesy of his daughter, Cherie. And I just made a connection with Miss Patricia Matt Ewing, who teaches, she works at the school, and she's going to allow me to get the class of 2000 and 2001 next week. So, because she's in charge of the yearbooks now, so I'm going to also ask if that yearbook company reprints any earlier years, because I get a lot of inboxes from people they want to see if they can get their yearbook. I'll find it out next week as well.
Good deal. One thing I like to throw out to you is also a question about something that could tie in some more participation or some more enjoyment during at some point up towards to the Grand Reunion. I don't know if it's going to be during that period. Would you guys consider doing something, because we're a very talented people, and we have from our alumni group, we've got, there's all types of artists. We got musicians. We've got I'm sure there's poets. I'm sure there's a host of things. I know we got a bunch of photographers, and allow people to display or perform their art, their artistry.
That's a great, Greg. That's a great idea. As far as a physical building, that may be something we could probably address further along when closer to October. As for right now, like I said, the financial support that we've been receiving has really not been well. It's been lackluster. So we're kind of, the way we're operating now is kind of like a CEO in the last quarter of the year. We're being strategic about how we spend money. Even though we try to make money when we do little things, even like with the cookout, we want to make a little bit of money off the cookout, but we don't care if we break even. We just don't want to lose money. That's kind of how we're at with everything that we're doing, because like I said, it's been, most of the money we have in the bank is from the actual individuals. We decided that we were going to front $20 a piece to where we'll pay for the first events that we'll attend, and then like the fundraiser raised about $500 some. So right now we're like about at an $800 range. You know, like say the shelter has already been paid for, but we're going to be cautious about even with the cookout, because me technically, and we always vote everything as a group. I want to wait till a week before the cookout to see whether or not, hey, do we want to buy this food, or do we want to just call it, and that way we can get our money back for the shelter and not spend the money on the food, because we're going to start and hopefully get some sales. And if it looks like that we're not going to at least break even, we may even have to pull off from that. But I do know that even if we can't do it within a brick and mortar building, as time goes on, that may be something that we can highlight on the page, you know, to get, you know, it's because even with the yearbook, it's all about keeping people attentive. You know, it's like if we had just said we a grand reunion, we're gonna do a grand reunion in October, people would have lost interest if we didn't do anything on the page. So by us strategically doing a yearbook every week, that has people every week wanting to come to the page to see what's going on. So that was actually done strategically so that we can keep people interested until it got warm and we can start trying to do outside things. So like I say, even if we can't do a brick and mortar financially, that would probably be a great idea for us to try to do and showcase somebody, you know, on a weekly form, or either every few days, put somebody different up there. The way it gives them a spotlight to where they're spotlighting themselves. Because right now we're over 800 members, and still growing. You know, so that still gives them a spotlight. But I would love to do a brick and mortar, and really, what I would like to do, as far as the grand reunion, I would love to have like a dance the night of the homecoming from like 10 to 2, and then do a dinner, because everybody don't like dances, and then do a dinner the very next night, that Saturday. That's what I would like to do. I'm hoping that we can come up with the funds to do that. And if we do that, that would be a great time to take out maybe an hour or so of them 4 hours to let the guys showcase themselves.
Let me ask you this. Something just came to me. What is a dollar amount that will be feasible for each member to contribute? That's the word. Invest was hanging there, but that's not the right word. Contribute. What would help from the alumni to make sure that this event could happen in a good way? What would, like, an individual amount, a minimum amount, and then say, well, you can always do more, of course, but what would that be that you think would be beneficial?
I would say that right now it's kind of, I feel that we are actually at the beginning of, you know, I think we're like 782. I think we're at the beginning to where we can secure a hall. And to me, honestly, I'm really not worried about the food, because if you hire a caterer and a caterer tells you that it's going to be $15 a plate, then you probably going to charge people $25 a plate so you can get decorations and stuff. See, that part is more or less the least worried, because it's like how many people you have, they're going to have to pay for the food anyway. So if only 10 people come, you know, hey, that's $250 that we need for food, but the people are going to pay for the food. I would feel comfortable about.
Let me just say
I can
this.
give you a number.
Right, but what I'm saying, if you're dealing with a caterer, they're gonna want a minimum.
Yeah,
they're gonna want a minimum. So, what can we do as the alumni right now? Because I mean, you know, I'm interested. I want these events to be great. You know, but of course we know things cost, and we know that more now because gas is approaching $5 a gallon. You know, things cost. Everything costs. You guys. You know, you guys on the committee having to move about and do things. I mean, we don't think about it, but time and all these things, and gas is high. I mean, I know you can make phone calls, but when you talk about securing facilities, getting caterers, even if photographers, you know, some people are gonna want deposits.
Yeah.
The caterer
Yeah.
is definitely gonna want. The caterer's gonna want to know a head count,
Yep.
and they're gonna want to know. They're gonna want a deposit,
Mm-hmm.
and people can't come and pay that night for that type of event.
Yeah.
They just
You
can't do it.
definitely, because I wanted to start collecting money. So I would say off the top of my head, I'm looking between $30 to $40. You know, because I don't want to beat anybody in the head. And actually, it could be a little less. It could be $5 more, but I'm looking more in that range per person because, like I said, but it's not. We're actually the event committee is actually trying to lock down facilities right now, and then our next meeting in May, we were going to try to start locking down a caterer so that we could come up with our idealistic price of what we want everybody to pay per person, so that we can start the campaign for pre-orders in June. You know, and that would give us to June and July, and then when the athletic directors come up with their dates and decide what days they want to be in homecoming in July, we can lock that. You know, we'll already have the funds to lock down at least the hall and work on the caterer. But that's what we're actually in the process of doing now, is finding the facility to get our price, and then in the May meeting, we're going to be locking down exactly what we want to serve, and trying to find narrow it down to about 2 or 3 caterers, so that we can get those actual prices, so that when June comes, we can combine the hall price and the catering price and come up with the actual price per person before we shoot. We're just planning to shoot it out in June.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
And I
You mind
think
if I
the
interject?
Now, go ahead, Wayne.
Oh, I'm sorry, because I was thinking in the same lines as Big here, but I did have 2
Yeah.
questions, kind of a 2-part question thing here for you. You know, being busy people in the world, and some of us do not like fundraising. I've had to do it for years as I coach football, softball, and all these other sports. But is there a mechanism or something set in place where an alumni or whomever can donate to the cause whenever they want to donate, if they have the money to donate? Is that something that's advertised on the Facebook page, or do you have something set up like that?
Yeah, we can do better, and I plan to do better. That's like I said when we talked earlier, and you and Big had mentioned other things. We have, you know, this is serious. We are registered with the IRS. We have an EIN number.
Right.
We actually have a bank account.
Okay.
I'm the chairperson. Chris, y'all spoke with earlier, was the vice chair. But with me, my mentality has always been, I don't care what it is. If it's money involved, I look at it as a business.
Yes.
I actually have a ledger. I have a ledger that where I got dates, whole names, time money was put in, how the payment was made, where it was cash out, cash. I got a ledger for every penny that came in or went out. You know, like I said, I take it serious, because you know, with the new rules the IRS have, after $600, they sending you an IRS form. So, you know, I'm making sure that when that form comes, Sean Garfield didn't personally benefit from none of it. So, you know, so I got everything. But yeah, we have a Cash App account. We also have a Zelle account. We've actually received donations, but you know, in admitting my fault in what you just asked, I've never actually posted anything asking for donations either. You know, so that's something else that I can, you know, like I say, I love constructive criticism, that I can start doing. If they donate, they don't donate. At least they, you know, we can't say that, hey, we didn't provide the information. Now we do provide those for when, and like I said, as far as fundraisers,
do they accept donations, and do they promote or advertise that they accept donations on the website? So basically like that, because I look at it like this. If you have 700 plus, say 800 personnel, hey, each one of us gave $1, you now bought your shelter. Yeah. But what I used to do is, because I'm not a big fan of fundraising, I go dig in that wallet. I got relatives that dig in that wallet. They prefer to donate X amount of dollars, and I got people that donate quite a bit. They'd rather do that than actually fundraise. Not saying stop the fundraising, because you kind of need to do that, but at the same time, advertise that you accept donations.
Right,
so you're not behind the curve, you're ahead of the curve. You now have funds already in the bank to do something else later on, but you keep going. So you're not chasing.
And I did, you know, I didn't do it. I didn't do it, you know, because with me, I'm here to support, you know, everything Churchland. And the Churchland AD, that's the guy I would love for y'all to do a show with. He wasn't able to be here tonight, but I did forward Sean his information. It's like, you know, Tracy and myself, you know, every time he posts something out, we'll try to support him because he sells little items for the school. But I personally went on our page, and at the time we had 700 members. And I pleaded out, said, hey guys, we could all, I think he needed $3,500 left. I said, hey guys, we all, if you could spend money at Starbucks and pay for that expensive coffee, we all can put in $5, and that would help that man reach his $3,500 goal. You know, I've seen people, you know, give money to homeless people, you know, blow money, you know, that's riding around. I'm like, you know, this is your roots. This is where you graduated from.
Sean, and this is probably something we can do as time comes by, like alumni dues. You know, you forming a grand reunion with the alumni. If we got like 700 and 800 people on, and I mean, I know, I'm gonna tell you, only reason I'm saying this because I told you my aunt is the president of Norfolk Alumni, and she be hounding them people like, don't forget your alumni dues, don't forget your alumni dues. And this, I think it's like $10 or $15. So she be hounding them, but she gets it. And they give it to her. And she even, if they say, come to my job, she go to their job and she take a picture with them and post it. So just paid their alumni dues, man. They are officially alumni of IC Norcom High School. And I'm like, wow. And she just posted it like the other day. She said, I done got 700 people with that been out of school who never paid their alumni due or never paid anything. And I think she got them to pay $10 or $15. And she got 700 people.
Yeah, one of these days, let me cut y'all, Tracy. One of these days, when Mr. Free, get link us together.
Okay.
So that I can pick her ear, because I know the question is going to come up about what is the money for. And that way she can just break everything down to me, you know, so that way, when I get questioned. But I think that would be
how you know who I was talking about?
Huh?
How you know who I was talking about?
You know I stalk your page.
Big brother, that's big brother.
Whoa. Yeah. So that's my aunt, and she be, for her to be 74 years old, she's on it. Like, you know, she's on it. Like, I mean, she all at my job, like people who is Norfolk alumni, she like pay your dues, they writing checks and everything. She's on it. If you say you're gonna give it to her, she's coming to get it. She ain't even gonna make you come to her. She's coming to get it.
You know, one thing I just thought of, Tracy, when you said that, these had to be some really old folks that still had checkbooks.
Yeah.
And you gonna write a $15 check.
Yeah.
Hey, there you
go. I see it.
Don't worry. I got a book in the house too. I got one too.
I do have a book, but he was trying to get around everything. She wasn't gonna let him go.
Hey,
so he was opening up with a checkbook. She said, "Give me that." So she wasn't gonna let him go. That's her. If you say you're gonna do it,
right, she's gonna hold you to it. She's gonna hold you to it. So look, so Garfield, one thing I think is critical, because, you know, I believe in donating, you know, to things, and I definitely would donate to my alum. So please, like, make it a point, at least. I mean, I can't tell you your interval. You guys are doing your thing. UDD, Chris, you know, you guys are doing your thing. But I would say at minimum, once a month, pop up that, or put the Cash App for the group on the page, so people can just see it, and
boom,
you know.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I mean, this is for us.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, because the more convenient you make it, the more willing people will probably be to say, okay, yeah, you know, me,
Yeah,
we're gonna throw this
yeah, I
up here,
think,
you know.
and
Yeah, because
securing
I
the
even had
venues
a
and
young lady, Jenny Wilkins. We went to elementary school together, and she started out at Churchland, but she didn't graduate from Churchland. When we did the fundraiser, she ended up just hitting me up, cash out $20. She said, I just want to donate, Sean. You know, she said, because I'm proud of what you're doing, and I was just telling her. So when we do these Churchland things, I say, I think she left like our junior year. I said, you're still a trucker, so when we do these things, you need to come on out here because pretty sure it's a lot of people that you haven't seen in a while. But yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Those ideas about about making sure I tell people to share, and also what Wayne was saying about the donations. Like I said, I'm going to work on doing those more. Let's see, like I said, it's getting crunch time. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in the beginning, we're a new group. Everybody grown, working. We were kind of unorganized. We still got some kinks to work out, but it's getting better.
it's always gonna be kinks.
So it's
You know?
like I think it's finally. I was more worried about in the beginning about, because I tell you I'm either a teddy bear or a Tasmanian devil, but I try to keep the Tasmanian devil at bay. But I was getting frustrated of having 20 members, but only like the same 10 were the ones showing up at the meetings, or if I send a question out for everybody to answer, we do that. Now I'm more or less I ain't even trying to push nobody out. If you ain't participating in an event, you gotta pay. And that's what I'm pushing on, because it's not fair. Like I said, every meeting we have, Tracy like, hey man, from In Living Color. She got about 5 jobs, but she always seemed. Matter of fact, she was at a job one time, and keyed into the Zoom meeting. Dee Dee is always there. Chris. With Gary playing Yankee manager right now. So I guess it's a good day that we chose a Sunday. Got him out there grinding, because he was there with us, for baseball season. That stuff like that is understood. But when you have members that don't answer a voting question, but yet you see them being active on Facebook, it get frustrating. So for a while, I was trying to get people to just leave. If you ain't gonna be a part, why are you in the group? But now it's more or less of, it's crunch time. I can't worry about who's gonna stay, who ain't gonna stay. Whoever's gonna work out, that's what we're gonna work with.
Just keep working. Just keep working.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm gonna
because
tell you,
sometimes once people see you do it more, just keep doing it, then they'll be like, oh, now I want to be a part, because they see
Right.
you, keep
buy-in.
going, they keep doing it, then they be like, oh yeah, now I want to be a part. So
Yeah.
you don't shut them out, but let them see what you're doing, and then when they say, I want to be a part. Okay, well, you got to pay because you never paid dues, you never did this, you never did that. Then that'll make them want to. Okay, now what do I have to do for the next time?
We're gonna be okay. Like I said, we still got a few. It's the first year. We got a few kinks to work out, but like I say, we got a great core that really want to see it happen too. So that's the main part, and that's what's gonna make it great. At least I don't feel like I'm by myself. Like I said, I do have a great core that's on the committee that I know, that can help.
Outstanding. Anything I forget?
Tradition and spirit.
So that's a question actually I would like to ask to everyone. What comes to mind when you think of Churchland school spirit or tradition? Let's start with Dee Dee.
How did I know you were going to do that? I guess I shouldn't be quiet as much as I have been, huh? I always think of the fun that I had at the football games. Hey, and y'all can say Churchland didn't start having a good football team till 95, 96, whatever year that was, y'all were saying. But I beg to differ, because in 1987, go back and look at it. 1987, well, 86, 87 school year, we had a perfect record. It was a perfect losing record, but it was a perfect record.
I was gonna
And we went to every game, and we rocked it up in the stadium, up in the stands with the band, and we supported our guys, and we were there. And I think that was the tradition. We went to the games, we went to the dance after the games that I don't even know if they're still doing those or not anymore, but we'd go to the dance after the games, and we would just support the school. The pep rallies in the morning of the football games, you know, just yelling and screaming and saying our class motto, you know, class of 87, and you know, then you have the other classes trying to outdo us, and just the fun of it all. It was just so much fun. Looking back at high school, you know, you kind of, man, I wish I was back in high school, just not because I want to be back in high school, but because I want to enjoy the things that I thought were tedious and stupid. Because now I think that that's like the most fun part of it.
Some of the stuff you miss. Tracy.
Yes. Like I said, our pet rallies, even though people want to skip and go to Norcom and Wilson pet rallies, Churchland pet rallies did good. The band played for what they need to play for at the moment.
Right.
And you know, they don't even do the cheer. I got the spirit. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I got the spirit. They don't even do it. I got the what?
They don't do that no more.
They don't do that no more. They don't do that no more. So
I got laughed at. I got laughed at it when I went to the last one and started doing it. Like, what are you doing, coach?
You were trying to get them hyped up, and they were like,
my daughter, yeah, she been cheering since 7th grade, and this her senior year. When I said that, she was looking at me. The stuff they say now, you don't even understand what they saying. So you know, you try to cheer along. You can't cheer along because you don't even know what they saying. I was like, when we was in school, we knew almost every cheer. When we was at the pet rallies, I said, and then I'm gonna tell you what I like. We had a pet rally, like at home games. You know, they give the school now like one good pet rally. That's it, and they done. I remember having more than just one pet rally for the season. So
it was like every home game, right?
every home game. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
They don't do that no more. So I'm like, I wish I would have did more when I was in Churchland. I remember going out for track. I made it, and then I was like, I'm not doing that. My daughter was like 9th. She was 9th in the district, like in track. So I was like, I wish I would have kept up with it. I wish I would have did things different. But I can't say I love Churchland. I'm surrounded by Norcom. My family is Norcom. My aunts are Norcom, but you know, I'm diehard Churchland. I wanted my kids to go to Churchland, but they did not want to have no parts of Churchland. And they did not. My daughter is at Mounter, but she is me at Mounter. She was Miss Freshman. She was Miss Homecoming. She was this. She was that. Like I was talking about earlier, with what they did yesterday. I remember what it was. They was raising money for YMCA for all residents of Portsmouth can get free swimming lessons, and they raised $10,000 today.
Oh wow!
Good.
For their color run. So that's what they were saying. So many people die. Kids die from drowning.
Right.
Yeah, so they raised $10,000 so residents of Portsmouth can go get swimming lessons. And how many people know that? Don't a lot of people know.
No.
Right.
I didn't know I knew they had to run. I didn't know what it was for though. Yeah.
It was for the residents of Portsmouth. Portsmouth can get free swimming lessons at the YMCA and Churchland. And they put it together as Portsmouth Public Schools, but they did it held it at Churchland, and they raised $10,000.
Oh, that's
great.
Yeah.
Great.
So it was like we don't, know But I mean, I said when I see stuff, I'm gonna give it, so we can post it on the page, so we can come, back to Churchland when Churchland doing stuff,
Right.
homecoming basketball, because their basketball games be tight now too. Now their basketball games was good too. So just so we can like support, help out. But I just miss it. I miss high school. If I could go back and do it all over again, I would have did some things different.
Yeah.
But I always had fun in.
Hindsight is 2020. So Wayne, same question. What comes to mind when you think of Churchland school spirit or tradition?
Wow. In the conversations earlier, I may have had a different answer, but as I thought about it, I think some of us have been around in the Churchland system from primary, elementary, junior high to high school, and that's me. I'm one of those products. So I can't do nothing but bleed orange and black. That's it. It's in me. Yes, that's it. I've been in every one of the schools. And so in doing that, it's a family. You have people you went to school with in each one of those individual schools, and some go along all the way, some people move away, some come in along the line, but it becomes this family. And this in Churchland being unique, and that we were a school that housed people from across the bridge and projects and neighborhoods that had homes, and then we go back over to the Churchland side to homes, and you meld all these people together, and I just can't explain it any other way. It just becomes a family, and you remember so much, and the teachers were great, and there's a staff, and I've been around quite a bit, but you look at Churchland teaching staff, you had a lot of teachers that stayed there forever, didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
You look at like Mr. Fanny, Mr. Mabry, Mr. French. I mean, all these folks
still
forever. See wow. Which Fanny or
French?
He still got the rings.
He
still got the rings. Okay, never mind. The rings around it. I'm messing. No, he's a great guy. And the corners here. But anyway, but that in itself shows family. Even the teachers wanted to stay, all that time. So that spirit is there. And I miss walking through the tunnel at the old school, though. I will say to go out to the football games. Come under the dungeon, walk through, and
Coach Gary.
Yeah, man. So when I look back, I look at the unique time, right? So, when I came through is when that's around the time that they closed the other two schools in the system, right? So Manor and Craddock closed, and then our school went from one dynamic to a different, right? Almost like overnight. And we can credit that to our basketball and football teams getting a little better, true. And for sure. But just to see that change in dynamic and how that played out and helped mold me, because a kid from Churchland West, a lot of my friends, like you mentioned earlier, James, a lot of them went to Norco. So when I got to Churchland High School, a lot of my friends that I had up until that point went to Norco. So then I had to, meet new people and that sort of thing. And then to be accepted like that and whatnot was a blessing. We mentioned the pep rallies earlier. I mean, I remember my senior year, we had a guy named Marvin Rogers and Dion Langley, and they took the band to a whole new level, because then we had a drum corps at our pep rally. Them things used to be rocking because they in there doing their thing, right? To the student versus faculty games and stuff like that, man. And to go back today in pre-COVID, right? So COVID kind of slowed up a lot, obviously, with our school system. But just before COVID, to see that energy at the pep rally and the energy at that student versus faculty game brought me back to, like I'm right there. And then it's still always surreal to walk down the halls that we walked, and how they're pretty much the same. They've decorated and showed a lot more pride and stuff and whatnot now. And just proud to be in a school now, or a part of a school that promotes. Like if you walk down the halls, they got different colleges on the wall, and just to bring that hope that there is something past what the school that they're in now, and that sort of stuff. Man, I tell you, it's just a very prideful moment, and when I put on that uniform now, the coach, it's that same feeling I had when I was a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, to put it on back then. So man, I'll tell you that pride, and then to look in the stands, and now I'm coaching, some kids that we went to school with their parents and stuff like that, and with the group that Sean has created, with this grand reunion and stuff, I think it's just valuable to try to echo some of the like Norcom pride that they have, and you walk around and everybody like Norcom this, Norcom that, because of their alumni and the pride that they have in it, right? And then I'll have groups at Churchland that kind of want to complain a little. Well, let's don't complain. Let's come together and let's try to build the same strength.
Right.
There
That's
you
good.
go.
That's good. Shine.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna tell about a moment that from our school year. I can remember when we were playing Norcom at their homecoming game, and our football team whooped them bad. I mean, whooped them bad. That was like one of the only game we won, but they whooped them bad, and you could just feel the pride of the school. It's just everybody just felt like, dang, it was just one win, but it was that win. That one win we really wanted. The one win against Norcom. Everybody was just poof. It just was such a
Churchland just beat them at their homecoming this year. Churchland whooped them again at their homecoming this year. And I was there, and I was like, there you go, Churchland. There you go. Yeah, so Norcom didn't like it. I was like, that's right, the land. They were like, man, forget no. We better. They started saying what they better. I said, but you won't better football.
What the score say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Garfield, close it out strong, brother.
That winning night of beating Norcom was led by the seniors of the class of '90. So yeah, that was a great thing. When I go back and look at, like, see, I got my own little quirks about my situation. I'm gonna explain myself, and then I explain the group. As far as myself, man, my high school years probably were my best years. Tracy's brother, Fat Rat Clarence Booth, was, one of my best friends. Then I had Aaron Harper, who's passed away. Albert Hill, AJ, one of my best friends. All his best friends. Aaron, Boogie and AJ passed away. But Tracy's stepdad was a DJ. They sent Tracy away every weekend. So their house, after the game, their house became the hangout spot. We partied to 2:00 every Friday, because we know the DJ can't break his equipment down until to at least 2:00.
yeah.
2:30.
Hey, but one day, and it's crazy. People actually think that I drink. I probably drank about 5 times. But man, we was in high school, and it was plenty of liquor, plenty of beer. And Wyman never come home one day early.
Because I told it was a party there, because Fat Rat wouldn't let me stay home.
Well, she came through that door, and I don't know why we ran out for, because she been doing all us since we were little boys.
And he came and got you.
I said, man, but no, I had a great time in high school, man. Some of the things that happened going into my senior year had my mind change about other people, and I kind of resented
and I held it for a long time. But as far as the school itself, I love the school. And as far as, like I say, with the word of school spirit and tradition, my thought of that far as our age bracket, see, right around Tracy's time and Gary's time is when the football teams and stuff started doing a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, when I looked through the
It
years,
wasn't because of me though, so it's all right. It wasn't because of me though, so
that's okay. Yeah, because like I said, the 2005 yearbook said that was the first time that Churchland had a winning season since, I think it was 1981. So you're talking 14 years of going under 500. The class of 90 was the team that broke the curse of, I believe Churchland went 0-45 before the class of 90 won a game. And usually with schools, like I said, school spirit is usually around sports. Football and basketball. Churchland has always kind of had a real good basketball team.
Yeah.
But your crowd is really going to be around that football team. And what kind of counteracted us is that Churchland used to have dance every home game. So it's like, you know, everybody in the stands, well, they ain't really paying us no mind. They waiting for this jank to hurry up and end. So you kind of get it, and then too, it just seems to me there's no tradition. Like at Narcombe, I really never was supposed to go to Churchland. I actually played JV for Narcombe. I actually going from your 8th grade year to your 9th grade year. I actually was starting both ways for Narcombe varsity football going into my freshman year. But I kind of had that Iverson effect. Practice, them 2 days, bro. You know, you living out the park and everybody hanging at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you start going to a practice at 7. Coach Langston walked across the street and got me out the bed, and I couldn't face the man, so I ended up transferring to Churchland. And so
that's the story.
Yeah, for real. I was never supposed to. I was never supposed to go to Churchland, but all my best friends, Fat Rat, Boogie, and AJ, all were at Churchland. And so I was like, man, I switched right before school started, and because I actually played with the varsity team that summer, I had to play JV a whole another year because I was ineligible to play varsity. But just want to build a tradition, man. Like I say, the kids at Narcombe are kind of changing now because Narcombe has an emblem in there for. And I used to be the water boy and all of that from elementary school. And it was a rule. You don't walk on the heart. I don't care if it was 2,000 people in that hall. Y'all better hug the wall. You don't walk on that heart. Now, because the kids are getting so ignorant and don't have no tradition, they have the heart roped off because the kids have lost that tradition. It's not, you know, and with Churchland, it seems to be more of a tradition because they're experiencing something new. You know, they're experiencing winning basketball team, winning football teams. So that's something new. It's just like even the class of 96, Tisha Tillman and Donald Tillman. I told them I was frustrated because they lived 2 houses down from me. They had a cookout with about 30 people from just the class of 96.
Wow.
You know, and stuff. So they, you know, the young, I say the classes of from like 95 on, they tend to have a lot more school spirit than some of us older crowds. Because like I said, I admit it myself. Once I graduated from Churchland, the only time I showed up was to see Wayne, Mott, Cliff Style, T, and Jamie, all the younger guys from the park, you know, who was younger than me, and you know, now they on varsity. After they left, I didn't go to the now Churchland game until my son played for Narcombe, you know, and I was on Narcombe side rooting. But, you know, when you get older, you start to realize a lot of your mistakes. And, you know, and at least this one, I'm fortunate enough, God willing, to be able to right a wrong you know, and to try to get that tradition and that school spirit back. And so that's what we're doing. And I realize that I don't think it's going to happen in 1 year. You know, I think, you know, some people are still reluctant because they was in the same boat as me. I graduated from there, moved from there. You know, hey, it's a high school that I went to. You know, so it's going to be a work in progress, but I think it's going to eventually catch on and be a very popular thing.